If you're curious about why plants love CO2, but don't want a heavy science lecture, you're in the right place. Today, we're diving into a fascinating experiment that will help us understand one of nature's most vital processes, photosynthesis. Let's break it down with a cool experiment. This is Moll's half-leaf experiment, a simple yet powerful way to see photosynthesis in action. First things first, we need a destarched plant. What does that mean? Well, plants store energy in the form of starch, and we need to get rid of it to start our experiment with a clean slate. That means keeping the plant in the dark for 3 days to remove all the starch. By depriving the plant of light, it uses up its stored starch because it can't perform photosynthesis. Yep, plants need a little time out too. This step ensures that any starch we find later is newly made during our experiment. Now here's the fun part. We're going to set up our experiment to see how carbon dioxide affects photosynthesis. We set up our apparatus with a transparent bottle filled with potassium hydroxide, a chemical that absorbs carbon dioxide from the air. This bottle will act as a CO2 trap, gobbling up all the carbon dioxide around it. Next, we split a cork so we can insert one leaf into the bottle. This way, part of the leaf is inside the bottle with no CO2, and part is outside with access to CO2. Then we leave the plant in sunlight. Sunlight is crucial because it provides the energy plants need to perform photosynthesis. After a few hours, we test the leaves for starch. Here's the magic. The part of the leaf exposed to air and light turns bluish-black, showing that photosynthesis happened. The bluish-black color indicates the presence of starch, which means the leaf has been busy making food using sunlight and CO2. But the part inside the bottle without carbon dioxide, it stays colorless. No CO2 means no photosynthesis, and no photosynthesis means no starch. This shows that CO2 is essential for photosynthesis. Without it, plants can't make the food they need to grow and thrive. So why did we keep the plant in the dark and then in sunlight? To make sure the plant starts with no starch and then gets a chance to perform photosynthesis only under our controlled conditions. This way we can be certain that any starch produced is a result of our experiment and not left over from before. And why 2 leaves? Well, to see the difference. One leaf gets CO2, the other doesn't. By comparing the 2 leaves, we can clearly see the impact of carbon dioxide on photosynthesis. Easy peasy way to show how vital carbon dioxide is for photosynthesis. This experiment is a great way to visualize a process that's happening all around us all the time. So next time you see a plant, remember, it's not just sunlight and water it needs, it's also a good gulp of carbon dioxide. Plants are like little green factories, constantly working to convert sunlight, water, and CO2 into the oxygen we breathe and the food we eat. So the next time you take a deep breath, thank a plant. Happy experimenting.